Hi guys. In good old habit, I'm going to try to make this a short video. We'll see how that turns out. There are a couple of things. First of all, it's been a while, so I've been quite busy. A lot of work and family, and it just was Sinterklaas. For those who don't know it, it's Saint Nicholas. It's a saint. Yeah. It's a saint that's celebrated as the guy that's bringing gifts to children with Zwarte Piet. It's people in blackface costume. There's like this movie about it, blackface, which is just, if you want to check it out, check it out. But please do yourself a favor and maybe also check out some credible sources instead of super biased opinions, very, very narrow and one-sided about the perceived racism of a very old tradition. I don't know. I grew up with Sinterklaas, and for us, Zwarte Piet was always, the cool one. He was the funny one. He was the one that made jokes and that made you laugh, while Sinterklaas was the tight one, and you had to be good because otherwise Sinterklaas would be mad. So I don't know. They're making like a big thing of something that isn't a big thing, and I have the feeling it's only a big thing because of people from the US linking it to slavery and all that. I don't know. It's just making a big whoop about nothing, and I don't like the fact that a harmless children's tradition is being, I don't know, is being treated this way, you know? It's a really, and then you have people, why don't you do Santa Claus? He's not offensive, and fuck you with not being offensive. If you have an issue with being offended, I suggest you go watch the video of Mike Hughes about being offended. So, voila, that's my opinion about people feeling offended by things that don't really concern them. So, I'm not saying people aren't allowed to have whatever feelings or whatever thoughts about that. I'm just saying don't just go ranting of one super biased interview or short film you see, because it's very narrow and one-sided. They did the same thing when all the fuss started. They did a poll in Brussels there's quite a large African community in Matonge, and they asked people, do you feel offended by Zwarte Piet? What? No. We do St. Nicholas with our children. Why should I feel offended? Because you see, the thing I'm trying to point out is they're making an issue where there isn't none. And basically that's all I want to say about it, because it's really not worth my breath, and probably not even your time to listen to it. So let's get on with the program, because I have a program. First of all, ADHD or HDD versus NE. There have been numerous discussions, debates, talks about whether the two are maybe the same thing, or at least have a very, very overlapping amount of qualities, which I agree with. I think if you go read some of the descriptions of HDD, ADHD, and you put that next to NE, especially NE in full action, yeah, that can be. I can see why people, such as myself, with. I'm not going to say consider those two the same, because I don't think they're the same, but I do think where one is found, there's a larger chance than average that the other one is found, you know? I myself, I'm going to go to a psychiatrist to be tested for ADHD. It's been something I've been thinking about a really, really long time. But I've actually never seriously considered it before. I mean, seriously, I think there was always something in me that said, there are a lot, and I know you don't have to go out and self-diagnose, but that doesn't mean you have to be oblivious for if there are 20 checks on a list, and from 10 checks you have an above average chance of having, or at least showing signs of ADHD, and you're at, like, I don't know, 17. These are not exact numbers from tests. I'm just putting stuff out of thin air, but that's approximately the ratio we're talking about. I think it would be quite silly not to consider that. Again, if you're not having any negative impact from that, and you don't feel the need to be certain whether or not you're afflicted by this, then so be it. But for me, I'm more and more coming in a phase of my life where I want to study more, and I have 2 children, and now I'm slowly but steady trying to climb up the, not per se the corporate ladder, but more my potential ladder, for lack of a better word. And all of a sudden, all of my difficulties in school are just coming right back at me. If I find something interesting, it's not a problem. I mean, I can stay focused at other, especially I think NTPs, probably other types as well, but I'm certain NTPs have it. If you're really into something, you just lose all sense of time and whatever is going on around you, and you just get sucked in. That's what I have when I'm troubleshooting. It's the thing I love most. Just like today, I think I spent 4 or 5 hours doing basically nothing but analyzing 20, 30 variations of doing the same thing to see, alright, am I getting a different result here? If yes, what does that mean? What can I do with that? Does that open new possibilities? I mean, it's just, I really love it. So, I'm getting sidetracked again. Alright, so we're only 9 minutes in and it's already happening. ADHD, getting tested. Yeah. So, I'm more and more in terms of professional life in a place where I need to sometimes go to meetings. I need to, if I want to pursue the things that I want to do, I need to be able to focus not only on the things that I love, but also on the things that don't really, it's not even that they don't interest me, but more they don't interest me enough to to capture my attention. That's even that still, it's you know, for me it's understandable. I could shrug it away as just being unfocused and all that. But I'm having extreme difficulties in meetings. The moment a meeting is longer than 15 or 20 minutes, I just can't keep still. And I don't mean that I'm going to get up and start walking around, because I'm an adult and I've learned you should not do that. So, but I'm tapping my foot. If I'm not tapping my foot, I'm trying to stay still, because, well, otherwise I'm going like this the whole meeting, which isn't considered extremely professional. Then I'm trying to hold still, and I'm trying to look at the person, and then I just start looking around the person and at the other side of the table and at the other side. Oh, no, I have to pay attention. I look at the person, then I start bobbing. No, I have to be silent. I didn't consider it a problem until the moment I started to say to myself, okay, you really should stop doing that, because it's distracting, and it's not only distracting for your colleagues but also for yourself. And well, yeah, I mean, I'm not really good at it. Even as we speak, as I speak, you can maybe see me. I'm just continuously hopping and doing stuff. Again, even that, it's not something definitive. But I'm talking to colleagues, and they're saying things that are actually important. I mean, things I need to know to perform my job, and sharing information concerning running tickets and all that. And I'm talking to her. No, she's talking to me. And all of a sudden I noticed that I just lost 2 minutes of this conversation. And I haven't got a clue where I was. So it's the fact that all of these things combined are... It's not like they're incredibly negatively impacting my life at the moment. But I know that the moment that I'm going to start to want to learn more and all that, keeping my concentration is just so taxing. It's using up so much of my energy that I could be using just learning the stuff, reading about it, and grasping it, analyzing it, everything. And now a whole bunch of that limited portion of energy is just going to trying to stay focused long enough to get in the material. And I think when you're at that point, then maybe there is something a bit off in, be it your brain chemistry, or maybe it's cognitive behavioral training or something that's needed. I don't really know. I don't even know whether there is something wrong with me. I'm not too fond of the thing, but you know, if I feel bad, if I have pain, I go to the doctor. So it just seems logical that if I think there might be something wrong with my head, that I should go see a doctor. No? So, voila. I'm quite curious. It's a new experience. Being tested for ADHD, so I'll let you know how it turns out. Either way, I mean, if I don't have it, then I know, okay, I don't have it, but that doesn't change the fact that I still have a lot of concentration issues, so maybe I should do something about that. If I have it, then I can go treat it with, be it medication, be it again, cognitive behavioral therapy or stuff like that. Not the mumbo jumbo psychology, flowery bull stuff. Not my thing. But I don't know. I feel it's kind of this year I've taken it upon myself to try and do. I'm thinking a long time about these things, and when it boils down to it, I think this is the point where I need to start, because all of the other things are also the how do you say it, low self-confidence when it comes to learning and all that. Although I do have a pretty sharp mind, and I'm good at what I do. I know I pick things up very fast, but I'm just so uncertain about my ability to stay focused enough when I need to learn things that don't interest me enough, but that need to be learned, that at least need to be known long enough for me to successfully complete that course. So I think it starts with this, and I don't know. I hope it can help me. Next year I'm becoming 30. I would like to make next year a bit one of my more productive years. So we'll see. Okay, next topic on the list. Yeah, I mean, it's basically my list is like 7 words mishmashed together, so don't expect too much of it. My company has been going through a fusion, and next week we're going to move to another building. I'm going to be put together with our other team. Suffice it to say that the cultures of those two companies don't particularly match all the time. I work in the IT department, and the company I'm going, we're fusioned. We're combined with right now. They have things in place that for me, especially as an ENTP that strives for efficiency and continuous improvement and innovation, are among the most dreadful things and conditions I ever had to work with. For example, we possess and it's fairly a rudimentary system, but it's quite efficient concerning requests, approvals, all that. You fill it out, you choose the appropriate manager that has the authority to grant you access over something or an approval for something, and only when he approves it, it arrives on our side, so we can immediately start processing it. In the other company, there is a Word document that exists only in French, because apparently people only speak French in Belgium. Oh wait, no they don't. They speak 3 languages. Actually 2, but let's be real. I mean, IT official language should always be English. Never in another language. It makes communication and looking up issues and just everything is so much easier, faster, better. There is no reason why it shouldn't be in English. I'm not talking about communication with users per se, although I prefer that as well, but at least internally in your IT department. I mean, come on. But okay, there is a French document that you need to, it's a Word document that you need to print out, fill in, send to 2 or 3 people, have them sign it physically, then afterwards scan the document and send it to us. Yeah. So when they told me that I had to comply to this, I can tell you, I got sick. I really got nauseous, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not. I don't know if paraphrasing is the correct word. I'm not. No. I'm sorry, not paraphrasing. Don't mind me. um, it's just, you know that feeling, if you have ever had it, the feeling you get when someone calls you on a moment you don't expect it, and you maybe think that it might be with some horrible news. For example, when your mother should call you at 2 o'clock at 2 a.m. I mean, that feeling, the pit in your stomach. That's the feeling I get from having to comply to such rules. And I know it might, for a lot of people, it might seem exaggerating, but that's just the way I feel. I mean, I can't help it. There are very, very, very few things that get me riled up as much as inefficiency, especially coming from fairly efficient and modern system, going back to policies and stuff used 10 years ago in an IT department, which normally embraces innovation and all that. It's beyond me. So I think there might be some interesting events on the horizon. We'll see. Okay, then. Oh yeah, I'm going to keep it under 30 minutes, or maybe just 30 minutes. We shall see. I mean, I still don't have any good video editing software. If someone could advise me on a decent package, I don't mind paying for it, but I would like something that's a bit more maybe techie oriented and not filled with templates and blah, if it's included, but there's also a more advanced interface. I would love that. I don't mind learning a bit, but it can't be too expensive. I was looking at Magic's Pro X7 something. I don't really have any experience with it. It looks, I don't know. Okay. So if you have any good ones, please hit me. Next topic on the list. I am excited. I am very, very, very excited. You want to know why? I will tell you why. Today, after I think 2 years and a bit, I finally received news that my Angel sensor that I pre-ordered it. I didn't Indiegogo it because the campaign was finished when I found out about it, is being shipped. I mean, it has been shipped. So, yeah, woot woot. If you don't know what it is, it's a wearable. I mean, it's just a wearable wristband, but with an open API, which I don't develop myself, but that's one of the things I just love about it. It has a temperature. Let me just have a look, because it has been a while since I read the page and I don't really remember what exactly is in it. But I respect the developers, because it has been pushed back multiple times due to the quality of the silicon not being up to par with their standards, which is something I can only applaud. You have people that are nagging about, oh no, why isn't it here yet? No. Look, I prefer to wait for a good product than having something with awful or bad silicone. I'm looking at you, Fitbit Force, or the first jawbone with silicone that or gives you skin rashes or just breaks down. So yeah, I mean, I don't really mind waiting a bit more for it. So let us have a look. What does it have? So this is very confusing. Data, Angel, fuck. Sorry, this is very boring to watch. Okay. So it's you have different kind of sensors. You have the usual, I think, 3-axis. You have the usual 3-axis movement sensor. You have the upgradable firmware. You have different sizes with I mean, the one I bought, it has different clasps that come with it to be able to like exactly size it to your wrist, which is good because I have like tiny wrists. It's probably the only thing about me that's tiny, but hey, at least I've got that. It measures heart rate, skin temperature, steps, calories, energy expenditure by calculation, all of that. Activity, sleep stages, which I like. But what's interesting, or even more 3D acceleration and 3D orientation. What's more interesting is that if you're a developer, you can access it via you can access the raw waveform data, and also a sensor that's implemented, but it's not yet working via the firmware, but it's going to be enabled with the firmware once the firmware is in a better state. That's an O2, so a blood oxygen saturation level sensor. So that's kind of nice. You have a temperature that's being measured. Oh, I already said it. Sorry. It's with FIT and FC. You have a vibrating alarm that you can use yourself. I mean, you can program it yourself. You can let it communicate. You can say, hey, between this and this, when I'm in a light sleep cycle, wake me. All of that. I mean, it's not extremely special by today's standards, but it's good. It are good materials. It's fully waterproof. I think you can go half an hour. You can go swimming and stuff with it. So you basically never have to take it off. With I think 1 week approximately battery life. And no, I don't own stock in it. I haven't been paid for this. I just wanted to share my enthusiasm. Anything else? Oh yeah, I had a question. So I'm in a Facebook group called True ENTP, which is a fairly nice group. A lot of interesting and fun discussions over there. And I already asked a question there. What are the gadgets or the techie, geeky things you found over or bought or are very enthusiastic over from, let's say, the last year or maybe the upcoming year? I'm always interested to hear about new stuff like that. You know what? I think I just made it. We're less than 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop. And until the next time, so maybe with an edited video this time. So be sure to advise me something, or if you want to, I don't know, post an ID for a next video. I'm always up for that. Alright, bye!